Hello everyone, welcome back. In the last video, I explained how we can set up the Tensol ERP system, the basic configuration, a one-off configuration which we must do before we start using the ERP system. So I have just logged in using the user which we created in the last video. So the first thing that we must do before doing anything, we need to go into setup and maintenance, in the back office. And in the back office, we need to go into the frequency and fiscal year management. So here we are in the frequency setup. So I've already set up this entry, which you can simply, by pressing the add button, all you need doing is select the code. We have already got one fiscal year configured at the moment in our system. So we need to select this one from the fiscal year code drop down. And in the code, you can give whatever is convenient. I put end of year, EOY, and the value date must be the last date of your fiscal year ending. So it must be 30th of June 2018. And the frequency ID is end of year. We can have different other frequency setups. But for the moment, this is the mandatory entry in our system before we do anything. Right. So once we have got this frequency setup, we can then go and actually configure our chart of accounts. So I'm just in this example or in this demonstration, I'm going to show you this is a basic sample of chart of accounts which we have just created for this demo purpose. So as you can see, there are list of certain chart of accounts and I've just categorized them under a logical sequence. So for the current assets, I've got this current asset account, which is going to be the parent account, and it is not going to be a transaction level account. So you can see the number I've given starting with 100, and then 100 is the parent account, and then subsequently we have got 101 and 102 under those current assets, cash account and bank account. So similarly in the fixed account category, you can see I've given it number 101 and 100 for the parent account, and then similarly I've got 101, 102 and 101 and 102 under this fixed account or fixed asset category. Similarly, I've got operating expense, revenue account, accounts receivable. So these are our debtors. So I put generic name client 1, client 2, client 3. You can add the real names as per your business. So the account numbers will be 101, 102 and 103 starting with 104. So similarly for the accounts payable, I've got creditors and then simple vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3. You can actually change them to the appropriate names as well. And for the capital or the equity, I've got these three accounts set up here. So let's create these accounts, this chart of account into our system, and then we'll take it further from there. So as you can see on the left side, we have got chart of account menu option. So as you can see, there isn't any account configured at the moment. So all we need is to click on add new button. And then the first account that we need to set up is the current assets account, which is going to be a parent account. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select the current assets account from the master, and I'm going to give it a number 100 as we. So this is the account number that I've given it, 100100, and the account name will be current assets account. We can put the same thing in the description here. External code is used basically if you have got some other system where this account number is used with some other code, so you can use that for your reference. The currency code, this is going to be the Pakistani rupee, which is my home currency at the moment as I configured my system with. Let's keep the confidential and system no as is, and this is going to be a transaction. This is not going to be a transaction node, so let's save this now. So this is now one account set up in my system. I'm just going to create another account, cash account. Similarly, it will be a current asset account. And it will be, I'm just going to pause my video for a second and so that I can quickly enter those things. Right, so I have just entered the cash account information here. So it will be current asset accounts type. Then we have got 101 in the end as account number. In the account name, I put a cash account, and currency again, as this is Pakistani rupees, you can configure account of using any currency code, as you can see in the list below. You can add more currencies as well, as I'll explain later. So now the important thing is to select its parent account. So this needs to be the current assets account. As we can see here, the parent account for the cash account and bank account is this current asset account ending with 100. So we just need to select this one from the drop down below. So by pressing the save button, this will actually create two accounts into our system. So I've got two accounts now created. I'm going to pause the video here and I'll create rest of the accounts and then we'll resume from there. Right, so I'm back now. So I've created these accounts in the system, and as you can see that the first three, they are current assets account, and you can see that this is our current assets account, which is a parent account, and these two, cash account, bank account, are the child account of this parent account. And similarly, you can see they are all set up as the parent accounts, they are all set up as no, as a transaction note, and all the child accounts are set up as yes. So this is how you can verify that all those accounts are actually created in the system correctly. So this is very important to make sure that your chart of account table is configured correctly. So before you start any transactions, you need to make sure that your chart of account is 100% correct. All right. So, so this is the chart of account that I have just set up in the software. So in the chart of account thing, you can actually, if you go in the import section by clicking on this option here, you can actually import the chart of accounts from the CSV file as well. So rather than creating all those accounts manually, you can create those accounts in a CSV file and then you can use that CSV file to import the data. So by clicking on the export data button, you can actually export the sheet, Excel sheet, which enlists all the chart of accounts. So, so this is the chart of account which I have just exported. So as you can see that it has actually exported all those accounts nicely. So you can now amend this CSV file. You can actually add more accounts here and you can give them the numbers in the same way. And then you can use this sheet which we have just exported and you can actually use this import data button to import more accounts. So it will actually update the existing one or add any new accounts which you have just added. The only thing that you need to make sure while importing the chart of account using this sheet, that any accounts which you are adding as a new account, the account ID should remain empty. You should not mention anything here. So this is how the system will determine that if this is a new record or if you're making changes in the existing one. So for example, if you add a new account here, let's say I'm going to add 15200 as a parent account, and then I'm going to add 116, 103, and external code I'm just going to keep like that. Save part 4. Going to remain the same. And you can also leave the last two and columns as well, which is the user ID and the transaction date and time. System should automatically add this. So if you just save this Excel sheet, and now if you come back to the import data button, we just need to give this a new number, 104. So I've just added this extra row here, making sure the first column should remain blank and the last two columns should remain blank as well. So I'm going to use this Excel sheet now to import this extra account into the system without manually entering it. All right, so it has imported the item successfully. So if we now go back to the chart of accounts, so now we can see this partner 4, a new account which is now added, and we added this using the CSV file rather than manually creating it. So it's up to you. If you've got lots of number of accounts, I would assume like anything beyond 20 or 25, it will be better to use the CSV to create all those accounts and then use import functionality to import this into the system. Some other thing that you can do, you can actually print the accounts, chart of accounts, and similarly you can click on the export button, and that will actually export the data into the Excel sheet, PDF format, or in the Word document. And you can also, if you want, for example, I want to flag a particular row, you can click on the flag button and you can select important, and this will actually update these particular rows with a different color just to highlight that these are the important accounts. That is all for this training session. I've just created the chart of accounts, and in the next video we are now going to use these chart of accounts to do some real transactions. Thank you very much for watching this video, and see you again in the next one. Thank you.